I thought the Clippers really kicked this off to a great start with how crisp they were playing. And we've seen like a lot of pretty good basketball right off the bat. I'm a little bit surprised at how fluid teams looked. I mean, it wasn't as sloppy as a lot of people expected. And the Clippers, they looked really great, man. They looked really sharp on the offensive end of the floor. I mean, this is a team that you think about playoff basketball, and I've been evaluating a lot. I picked the Lakers before the season. I'm still picking them now. But like I try to play the devil's advocate with myself, and I look at the Clippers. I'm like, this is a team that can play any single style. They can play with one big if they want to. They can play space out, 5-out offense if they want to. They have the defenders against great point guards, great wings, great bigs. I mean, this team is built for postseason basketball with a shortened rotation, and we saw how sharp they already looked without actually being at full strength. This team, especially when you consider the fact that we just talked about home court advantage, it is going to be more beneficial for the Clippers now, considering in a potential Lakers-Clippers series. Look, the fact is that the Lakers crowd is like 40% at a Clippers home game, maybe closer to 50% even during the postseason. That was something that factored in with me picking the Lakers over the Clippers. And I'm not saying I'm changing now, but I'm saying that I might before the postseason starts, considering just how potent the Clippers are in all ways. And we did see a preview of that in that first scrimmage.
Yeah, they have been and are my pick. I mean, I love that team. I think all healthy. I mean, you got to remember, they played more lineups, started more different lineups than anybody in the league. And when they have their guys together, which they don't. I mean, I remember not long before the quarantine ended, if you said, hey, this is what you're typically going to close out with the two guys off the bench, Lou Will and Montrezl Harrell, along with Pat Bev and the two wings. So if you had Beverly and Williams, Paul George and Kawhi, and then Montrezl Harrell, like that lineup, like has hardly played at all together. Like you don't even see it, and you know that they're going to get to that lineup a lot when they're all healthy. It's just everybody, whether it's Beverly, whether it's the bench guys, whether it is George sitting out sometimes, Kawhi sitting out sometimes. It's never all lined up. But if you told me they're all the way healthy, I think that they are. I think they're devastating. And the other thing is, Kawhi, I feel like he proved to everybody last year, playing with Toronto. And, you talk about how we don't talk about things enough. I mean, his playoff run last year is like historically great. He wasn't like he was the superstar on a team. Like he doesn't have the big personality. He's not constantly on your television on commercials and whatever, but just raw numbers, he was like any amazing superstar in history. He doesn't get considered like the LeBrons and the Jordans or whatever, but his performance throughout that playoffs last year is up there with any of theirs.
Sure. I mean, averaged over 30 points with high efficiency, rebounded the hell out of the ball, defended like hell. He racked up 4 assists a game too in the postseason last year. Kawhi is one of those star players who has another gear in postseason basketball, right? And that's something that sometimes players fizzle out in the playoffs. Kawhi has never been one of those guys, even going back to that first championship that he won with the Spurs when he was a younger guy. He lifted his game to another level at that point, too. That's when Kawhi really became a guy that everybody knew Kawhi at that point.
Yep.
And then you think to what he's done last year in Toronto, load managed the whole year. Maybe it doesn't look like his full self, but then playoffs come around, and what is he? He looks like arguably the best player in the world. And the Clippers are going to get that guy again. Someone who has been awesome this season, who arguably should be in top 5 for MVP voting, and probably will end up in top 5. He has another gear, man. He can reach another level. And so can LeBron too. I mean, but that with Kawhi though, you look at that roster though, I mean, it's a new season right now. This is a new season. And you look at that team, man, and if they're better built to win this whole thing than anybody.
Yep.
with their ability to play so many different styles. You think about what's important in today's league, they check all the boxes.
Yep.
Whereas the Lakers have lost Avery Bradley, have lost Rajon Rondo for some time. Even Caruso has a back contusion right now.
Mm-hmm.
Their depth is not as strong as the Clippers.